Two trucks having sex. Two trucks having sex. My muscles involuntarily flex. Two trucks having sex. Two trucks having sex. My muscles involuntarily flex. Two pickup trucks making love, American made.
Listen up, Auto Thoughts from Decepticons. You're listening to Prime Cuts, a non-linear history of the Transformers franchise on television. I'm one of your hosts, Audrey.
Hey, what's going on? I'm Nero, and I've got a great deal for you today. I've got this thing called a podcast. You put it on your phone, or, whatever listening device you use it for, and you hear a couple of goofs just talk about robots for like an hour to an hour and a half. What a crazy idea.
And how much does it cost for this amazing deal?
Well, I gotta tell you, it's free, and that's the best price anything can be when you think about it.
Unless you're Max Fun. Dun, 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 dun. Woo!
We watched 2 more episodes of Transformers Animated this week.
We did do that. One of them was fine. One of them looks very good. And is perfectly fine in terms of story, and writing, and one is not so good, but it does have Swindle, so who really gives a shit?
And slow-mo. I like slow-mo.
Yeah, slow-mo. Here's the thing that, we'll get to slow-mo, but Tara Strong really proves here that she's at her best when she's playing grown-ass white women.
Yeah.
In a remarkable difference from the little brown girl that she also plays in this show.
So, our first episode here is A Fistful of Energon, and it's our first Prowl episode in quite a while, I think.
Yeah, though, again, admittedly, for the most part, Animated doesn't do a lot of character-specific shows.
No.
Of the main cast.
Yeah, it's a lot of times you're going to have... You get a couple episodes per season to focus on a different member of the main... For example, Bumblebee is just absent entirely from this episode because there's a line early on where they mentioned that he and Sari went on a, quote, reconnaissance mission to Six Flags. Or, excuse me, Five Banners amusement park.
He can't even go on any of the rides!
He might. He's pretty small.
He still weighs like a ton.
That's
like a
true.
Literal ton.
He is still a car.
I've watched the Final Destination movies. I know how easy it is to bust a roller coaster.
Yeah, it seems... I don't know what he's going to get up to there. Maybe they've got others. I don't know.
They go for Halloween fright nights.
There you go. But yeah, with this episode opens with a bang, specifically the bang of Starscream blowing a hole in the side of the Elite Guard ship and escaping.
So again, we've talked about this before, but for me, this is sort of these episodes. This episode, next one, Starscream doesn't show up in, but this episode specifically sort of solidifies how powerful and competent Starscream is as a character in Animated. It's a very different exile with clones than what you get in Prime.
Yeah.
And it is, and I still consider Prime to be one of the more competent Starscreams as well, and he just looks pathetic in the same situation compared to what Animated Starscream has going on.
Yeah, no, Animated Starscream, he's cooking. Yeah, he's perhaps the least pathetic Starscream out of all of them, I think.
I mean, there's obviously an element of that because we see Skywarp here.
Yeah, we see like fucking proto Skywarp.
Yeah.
And fucking proto Sunstorm here with these 2 clones we'll get to in a minute. But yeah, I mean, okay, look. I don't know how he escaped, but are there only 3 guys on that giant ship?
Yes.
Guys, you gotta bring at least a 4th guy to guard the brig, or else this will happen. You're gonna get this.
There's no room. All that extra space is taken up by Sentinel's ego.
Oh God, yeah, it's like the weight limits. So yeah, no, it's with Sentinel is like has the ego of a whole battalion of auto troopers. But forget about that. It's time to hang out on Dinobot Island with Bulkhead and Prowl.
Yeah, who are trying to find the Dinobots and doing a really bad job and being like, "Are you sure they're here?" And Optimus is like, "Yeah, I mean, don't worry. They're territorial, but they don't attack out of nowhere," and then immediately gets attacked by Grimlock out of nowhere.
Yeah, so I like, Prowl is watching some deer, and Bulkhead is literally just standing around with a beer can in his hand and just going, "Hey, what you doing?"
There's a lot of stuff that got past S&P. I know it was a different time. I know it was 2008, I guess, at this point, but damn.
And it's worth noting, like we said, this episode's animation, for whatever reason, is looks great. Like
Yeah.
the shot of Bulkhead getting tail swept by Grimlock looks fucking phenomenal for no reason.
And even like the other elements of the art, like that aren't like the actual animation, like the colors really pop in this episode. It just like again, it looks really good. Not sure why.
just like a sort of random middle of the season Prowl episode just got the sauce.
Yeah, it's much grayer in the next episode.
However, so the reason Grimlock was so aggro and attacked them immediately, is because he is the lion with the thorn in his paw. Or in this, for some, I think somewhere something got fucking lost on the way to the animation department, because they depict Grimlock with a thorn.
There are like several lines over the course of the episode.
Yeah.
I've one from later on in this episode that really requires like at least like high school level knowledge, probably middle school, high school level knowledge, of like literature and chemistry. And I'm just like, why were these included in this show targeting 8-year-olds?
Yeah, and also, why is the spike not in his foot, but just like between his? It's just between.
I don't know,
his toes.
That would give me a blister. I can tell you that much.
I guess, but also like, it just seems a little less annoying, like a little less painful than if it was literally stuck in his foot.
I do wonder if it was like an S&P thing.
Yeah, come on! It's like, oh yeah, you can have these rowdy New York boys just chugging beer in the previous episode and like
catcalling cars.
Yeah, catcalling sports cars. But you want to put a fucking thorn in Grimlock's foot? That's too violent.
I don't know, man. Like in general, where the lines get drawn for like violence, I think the issue is not violence, but like sustained imagery.
I guess, yeah. I mean,
right?
There's a lot of weird lines that S&P draws sometimes. Like, yeah, this is fine, but you can't do this. It's like, well...
Yeah. So I think the issue wouldn't have been him, like, stepping on the spike and it going... the shard and it going through him, but I think having, like, the sustained injury, it's really hard to do, like, sustained punctures.
That's really funny, considering something that happens in the 3rd season premiere, but we'll get there.
Yeah. But it's really hard. I mean, again, they're robots, so it's different. Like, Robo-Gore obviously looks very different.
Yeah, but also, like, they don't even, like, they wouldn't have to have any fucking energon leaks or whatever. Like, it could just be in his foot.
Right. That's what I'm saying, is that, like, that it would be different since they are robots.
Yeah.
And they probably could have gone around that. But I think, generally speaking, network execs are, like, shy away from things where it's like, obviously, if this was a person happening to a person, there would be blood there. But I also could be totally wrong.
Yeah, and well, regardless, Prowl, using the EMP generator that Ratchet lent him for this little mission,
keep that in mind, by the way.
yeah, stuns Grimlock and pulls the thing out, and Grimlock's nice and happy.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, they get a call. The Autobots get a call from Ultra Magnus, who informs them that Starscream has flown the coop and is probably headed back toward Earth. And he says, "We would have called you earlier, but for some fucking reason, our tachyon transmitter disappeared." And we cut to Megatron, who's like, "Ooh, I wonder who did that. Ooh."
Impossible to say for certain.
And then he puts out a fucking John Wick bounty on Starscream.
And this is where things get fun.
Yeah, he's like, "All right, Starscream's coming back. I want you to put a bounty on that motherfucker's head. Top dollar for Starscream."
Meanwhile, Prowl's high off his own sauce.
Yeah, he's feeling himself a little bit. So he got the news that Starscream's back. He and Bulkhead are checking out the Ark, which crashed here in season at the end of season 2, and he's like, "Yeah, we can't detect Decepticon signals normally, but maybe the Ark's like enhanced scanners can help us locate Starscream." So he kind of goes in there and launches the probe and starts looking around.
Yeah. Optimus and Ratchet are like Ratchet like really half-heartedly is like, "No, Prowl, don't go searching."
Because what happens is he finds him on the moon. And
yeah, so
Bulkhead's like, "All right, well, we better call for backup." And Prowl's like, "I'm just gonna take the emergency shuttle and go up there," and he just does.
Yeah, Prowl's like, "I just took down Grimlock. What's Starscream gonna do to me?"
I've got this EMP generator. I'm good. I'm literally invincible.
I'll never die. So like back at the base, Optimus like is like, "Prowl, please, for the love of God, wait for backup." And Ratchet's like, "No, Prowl, don't go off on your own. You're so sexy, haha." And like you can see like Optimus is like, "You're not helping."
Yeah, and I really like Ratchet's, because Prowl does the fake static thing.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Breaking up. Ratchet goes, "I have always found Bumblebee's fake static much more convincing."
Yeah. So Prowl goes into the ship and is like, immediately runs into Starscream. Like, turns a corner, runs right into him. And I will say, Starscream, who again, if we remember back in season 1, took on all of the Autobots by himself, it seems to me that immortality has made him a lot more of a sloppy fighter. Because Prowl's able to manage on his own for a little bit. Not too long, but a little bit.
Yeah, he slaps the stasis cuffs on him. He was given some stasis cuffs as well, just in case he needed them to, like, shackle Grimlock. And during this time, someone else arrives on the wreckage of the Nemesis looking for Starscream, and it's Lockdown. He's back. Because, of course, big fat bounty on Starscream's head. He's out there looking for it. You know Lockdown's on that grind set.
Yeah, the theme of these 2 episodes is money, please.
Yeah. So, he and Prowl get into a little fight with Starscream still shackled on the floor, and he's like, can you 2 pay attention to me, maybe? And they're like, "No, shut up."
And like, this is the other line I was talking about. So he's like, "Can like one of you kill the other and like get me out of here or whatever? Like how much longer is this gonna take or whatever?"
By the way, Lockdown is wearing a space poncho?
Yeah, don't worry about it. He looks very cool.
He looks extremely cool. It's just completely... It's never remarked upon. It's just because he looks cool.
Right. So Starscream's like watching them fight, and he's like, "Before either of you win, I'll rust, and I'm in a vacuum." Which, again, is really one of those jokes that requires you to have a middle school, high school level education, understanding of chemistry to understand how oxidization works.
Look, they're teaching the kids something,
They're not, though.
You learn something new every day. You learn that rust can't form in a vacuum. You learn that Lockdown has a chainsaw hand. You learn it's very educational. during this fight, Starscream escapes, and Lockdown says, "Bro, what kind of shitty stasis gloves did you bring, man? He shouldn't have been able to fucking move."
Again, I would say more of a credit to how stupid strong Starscream is in animated than anything else, but still unfortunate for everyone involved. They head outside, and Starscream's just, like, floating above the moon, and he just, like, looks at them, and then, like, makes eye contact with Prowl, and then blows his ship up.
But sharp-eyed viewers may notice that this Starscream looks a little different. He's way more red than mauve.
Yes, well, it is something you could originally, not once we're back on Earth, but in the vacuum of space, put to lighting.
Yeah, except also the one on Earth is also super duper purple.
Right.
So, like, they both
No,
look
that's what I'm
different.
saying, is that once they're back
Yeah.
on Earth, you can't put it to lighting. But in this moment,
So
it's not immediately recognizable because it's washed out a bit.
yeah, so Lockdown flies off in pursuit, and Prowl hitches a ride.
And burns up in
And-
Earth's atmosphere.
He gets inside the ship somehow, and he and Lockdown have a cool guy off.
And then they kind of like flirt with each other.
Oh, they are definitely like
Lockdown,
flirting
I
there.
won't speak for Prowl, but Lockdown does want to fuck Prowl so bad it makes him look stupid.
for sure. And also this is when Prowl starts to get like, yeah, I'm super into mods now. I wanna get all the cool toys.
Yeah, it's so
Give
Prowl
me that
basically.
sweet armor.
My note for that was, hell yeah, Prowl, desecrate those corpses.
Yeah, bro. Did you
These
forget
are
that-
trophies.
Yeah, Lockdown took all of these off of his vanquished
Yeah.
targets. Like,
These are trophies. Go get, hell yeah, dude.
You know,
Desecrate those corpses. I'm so proud of you.
I
Gab,
guess-
baby.
I guess to be fair, only Ratchet only told Optimus about all that. Prowl might not know. Maybe he just doesn't know Lockdown's reputation. He's like, he just collects this stuff.
Yeah, okay, sure. Lockdown, who is literally cobbled together, who you can see is in segmented parts from other robots.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I believe that for sure.
So Prowl gets some fucking sweet samurai armor. And
Oh, well, okay, sorry. One thing we didn't say, why would Lockdown go along with this?
right.
So,
yeah,
Prowl enters the ship, and he's like, hey, before you shoot me, super hot, but you should make a deal with me. And Lockdown's like, why the fuck should I make a deal with you? And Prowl's like, well, I don't have a ship, and you don't have a way of finding Starscream, but I happen to have the, source signal for the piece of the Allspark that's keeping his ass alive, and you have a ship. So it seems that if either of us want to catch him, we probably should work together.
Yep. So they make a truce, and they fly off. They drive off in pursuit. Prowl's armor becomes a sidecar, which I think is pretty cool. And yeah, they track down Starscream pretty quickly. Actually, he's just hiding behind the highway. He's just hiding somewhere. And immediately surrenders. And also, he's really purple for some reason.
Rip Skywarp, you were just built different, but not in a good way.
Yeah, he's like a
Fuchsia.
yeah.
Purple.
And yeah, they immediately
He's very
cuff him.
saturated.
And yeah, you can tell this Starscream is different because when this Starscream clone starts like begging for his life and acting pathetic, Lockdown goes, that doesn't sound like Starscream at all.
Oh well.
Literally every other Starscream, that is their number one maneuver is, oh, you wouldn't hurt me, I'm just a little birthday boy.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I love this.
I actually think it's the specific wording he uses, because Lockdown's like, anyway. Oh wait, no, that's in a little bit.
Yeah,
when-
so I
when he
think
says they're going to
what
take him to Megatron.
yeah, what happens here is amazing, and I think maybe Prowl just got distracted by how cool Lockdown is and forgot who Lockdown is and what he does. Because yeah, Lockdown's like, all right, we captured him, so he calls up the guy he's working for, and it's Megatron, and Prowl's like, oh my god, you're working for Megatron?
Okay, I will actually give Prowl that this is a reasonable misunderstanding, given that Starscream escaped from the elite guard.
That's true.
It is a reasonable assumption, which is the assumption he is working under. He says that. That it is the elite guard who put the bounty on Starscream for his return.
Yeah, and Lockdown mentions, well, Megatron pays better than the elite guard, which I definitely believe. It also
Sentinel doesn't tip 20%.
That also makes it sound like they've hired him before, which is very interesting. Ooh, the Autobots getting into some dirty shit. We always like to see that.
Well, again, so here's the thing I will say about that as well, which they probably have worked with him, but it's not like they actually specifically hired him. They put out a bounty.
Yeah,
those are different things.
He just came up,
Yeah.
By the way, the reason that they were able to catch Starscream is because Prowl's epic samurai armor has jet boosters.
Oh right, yeah. It's also the reason he didn't die on the moon forever.
Yeah, he can already has limited flight, and in zero gravity he can direct himself, but he can fly with these things. But yeah, he's shocked that Lockdown is working for Megatron, and decides to try and fight back, but Lockdown's pretty good at fighting, unfortunately.
Yeah. I do feel like the line here where it's like, we're going to take you to Megatron. No, we're not. And Skywarp is going, no, or Starscream, whatever you want to call this character at this point.
Well, both of these clones got quote unquote names in the Allspark Almanac. Would you like to know them? So the cowardly purple one is clone number 3370318.
Oh yeah, no, I have them. And then there's clone number 2716057.
Which are the serial numbers for Flexo and Bender from Futurama, respectively.
Perfect. Great.
We love the Allspark Almanac.
Tremendous.
Yep. So, yeah, Prowl gets his ass completely handed to him by Lockdown, who takes Starscream and brings him back to Megatron. And then the other Autobots arrive and break Prowl out of this jam and go, "Hey, dude, what the fuck? You why did you just go off half cocked and try to fight Starscream on your own?"
I took down Grimlock.
And Prowl's answer is, "But look at all the sweet new toys I have. I'm so cool now."
But I could do even more with this cool stuff I took off of corpses.
The Lockdown lent me some sweet gear, and the rat just he did what now? So yeah, they go flying off, and they find the other Autobots encounter the other Starscream, the red
There's
one.
A great line here. This guy is coming in super hot, super low, and they're so they're chasing down Lockdown, and I'm just gonna call them Skywarp and Sunstorm, even though they're not. And Skywarp's being dragged behind him in this is really pathetic, actually. Just squealing metal on concrete. Mm-hmm. And they're there he is, let's get him. And then this other jet comes in super hot, super low, and it's okay, if that's Starscream, then who's that? And Prowl's probably just a regular Harrier jet.
What? Prowl?
I'm pretty sure it's Prowl. It might be one of the others, but I'm pretty sure it's Prowl because he's so focused on Lockdown and Skywarp. Where he's just probably just a regular Harrier jet. It's you moron.
I wonder if Proto Sunstorm's coloration here is meant to evoke Armada Starscream. Actually, looking at him.
I was
He's got
thinking that it was more supposed to be Ramjet.
No, Ramjet's like gunmetal gray. There ain't no red on that boy. Regardless, this other Starscream, this proto Sunstorm, who turns out to be a huge suck up, immediately offers to team up with the
Sorry,
glorious
I meant
Autobots.
Thrust.
Oh, Thrust. Nah,
Yeah.
Thrust is like,
I always get the
maroon.
Coneheads confused.
It's easy to do. They're
Except for
very
Dirge.
consistent.
Dirge is like such a particular brand of sucking.
Yeah, he's quite something else. So yeah, this Starscream is like, oh, great and glorious Autobots, I offer you my services, and we should team up. And they're all just like, no, what is happening?
And also like he like comes down after like Prowl, he like transforms and Prowl's like, I'm gonna attack him, and he does so extremely destructively.
Oh yeah, important to note, early on in the episode when he's trying to wrangle Grimlock, there's a bit where he like saves a nest of baby birds from falling, being knocked over from Grimlock's raging.
Right.
He goes out of his way to do that. And here, because he's all hotshot mod boy, he just he flies in the air, fucking cuts this clone's guns off with like a fucking vibro sword, and like slams him into the ground and cuffs him, and Ratchet's like, nice going,
well, first
bro.
of all, slams him through a tree again with birds into the ground, where he goes sliding into Optimus and knocks him and knocks Optimus over as well. So it's like this very destructive sequence.
Yeah, which looks great, by the way. Just a fucking great piece of action.
Yeah.
That looks good for no damn reason.
But at the end of it, they're like, okay, like, we got this guy, we still have to, but Prowl's like, we still have to get Lockdown and Starscream, and the other Starscream, and Ratchet's like, yeah, okay, maybe like chill on the mods though, you are going off your rocker. And Prowl's like, he's like, look what you just did. Like, look what you just did, dude. And Prowl's like, you're right. As soon as I take down Lockdown.
He points to a nest of broken bird eggs. He's a murderer. He's betrayed his love of nature. But yeah, Prowl's like, nah, I'll
Prowl is pro-life.
That's God. Yeah, so he's like, yeah, I'll put him away after we're done here, and he flies off.
And I will say, animated may have the more interesting Starscream clone plot, but Prime definitely has the more interesting drug addiction allegory.
That's right.
Because that's what this is. This is a drug addiction allegory.
Remember when Ratchet like winked at RC and like went like did finger guns at her? That was crazy.
Pepperidge Farm does.
That was crazy. So yeah, they with earlier they when Megatron is when they're figuring out where to meet Megatron with this Starscream. Lockdown mentions that he has an abandoned warehouse he likes, which I just think is a very funny detail.
Yeah, he looks it up on Yelp.
He's like, what's the nearest and the nearest and biggest abandoned warehouse? So of course, the Autobots interrupt this little deal, and it turns into a fucking Mexican standoff here. And I gotta say, if I'm Megatron here, I'm just blasting.
Yeah.
Like, okay, so I'm Megatron. I have a fusion cannon. Here's what's going on. Here's what's up against me.
To be fair, the fact that he didn't just start blasting probably saved his life.
That's true. But it's like you've got an axe, a magnet, thingamawhatsit, and Prowl, who does, to be fair, does have some actual weapons at this point, but like no guns. And yeah, like you've got a fusion cannon. But yes, as soon as Bulkhead busts through with the second Starscream. Immediately, Megatron's like, "Whoa, hang on."
Well, actually, immediately, Lockdown's like, cool, so I'm gonna go.
Yeah, no. Lockdown tries to weasel out, and Megatron's like, "Nope, none of us are leaving until we figure out what the fuck is going on here."
And wouldn't you know it, Deus Ex Machina, Starscream in the machine.
Yeah, Starscream.
Starscream Ex Machina.
Yeah, he installed fucking intercoms on all of his clones, and he speaks through them, and he's like, "Hey, you dumb helicopter bitch, I got your ass. This isn't me, and neither is this one."
But know what they both are? Bombs.
Yeah, so their like cockpits slide down to reveal fucking tactical nukes. And immediately Megatron blows the skylight out and says, "We outie, Decepticons. Let's leave."
I just had a thought. Fuck this.
Yeah, I love it. He literally just runs the fuck away.
As does Lockdown, obviously.
Oh yeah, he is out of there. He does not want to be
Lockdown,
anywhere near this shit.
Yeah, Lockdown cannot fly, but he is out.
And so they're left with these two Starscream clones, which are like going to wipe out Detroit, presumably. Like, these are fucking big bombs. And so Prowl MacGyver's together all of the mods he has collected over the episode into a rocket pack to launch them both upwards.
I'm not quite sure how the Decepticons survived this one.
But they're just made of sterner stuff, you know?
I guess. They do get nuked.
To be fair, we know that Lugnut blows himself up on the reg. So, like, he's pretty tough.
Yeah.
Megatron has survived quite a bit.
Yeah.
And I think Blitzwing is just God's favorite
Blitzwing has 3 lives.
Exactly. He spent one of them there, but you know.
We'll never see Random again after this episode.
He's gone. But yeah, it's a big explosion. They're fine. Maybe it wasn't as close as it looked because they are buffeted away, but I don't know. It looked pretty nasty.
Yeah,
they're fine though, and hopefully there's no repercussions on the city of Detroit from a bomb exploding that close to it. But you know, we get our little lesson learned moment of Prowl. Before that, Lockdown calls Prowl.
I miss your sweet ass.
Yeah, he's like, hey, baby, you want to be my scumbag boyfriend? And Prowl's like, maybe some other time.
Prowl's basically like, no. I don't need mods like a. So basically, like, Lockdown's like, you and I are, you know, pretty. We got something going. Want to like ditch the losers you hang out with and go desecrate corpses with me across the galaxy? And Prowl's like, no, I'm not so weak that I need mods like some other people I know.
Yeah, mods are for like the weak-minded.
Mods are the mind killer.
Yeah, and Lockdown just goes, whatever, man.
Yeah. Anyway, we can still fuck nasty if you want, though.
Yes, like, I just keep my number around, though.
I'm not deleting you our match on Grindr. Anyway, bye.
Yeah, and you know, Prowl returns Ratchet's EMP generator and all that stuff. He's like, I'm fine just as I am. I'll never wear that armor again. Please don't look in anywhere in season 3 where he definitely wears that armor again. And you can buy a toy of him with that armor. Don't look at it. Don't look at the toy. Just stop it. Don't look at the toy. It's not real.
No, do look at the toy. That's the only reason the show exists. Buy the toy. Buy the toy. Buy the toy.
Do you think that the reason that he brings it back in season 3 is that Hasbro was like, listen, you gave him a sweet suit of armor and you're not gonna have him wear it? We have a toy to sell, you idiots.
Nero, my bud. I respect you and your intelligence very much, but that's one of the stupidest questions you've ever asked. Obviously, that is the reason why it came back in season 3.
So that is the end of A Fistful of Energon.
No, it is not. We get one
Oh, God,
last
that's
little
right.
scene. We get one last little scene of Starscream on the moon, casually swinging the stasis cuffs around his little finger, and on the screen in front of him is Megatron, who has doubled his bounty now. And Starscream has a little like, what does it take to kill this motherfucker moment? But then he breathes and he's like, oh well, plenty more where that came from. And it pans back and the room is full of Starscream clones, real Starscream MILF moments.
Yeah, he's been in there spawning this whole time. He's been busy.
Yeah, it's hey listen, it's Revenge of the Fallen.
Has he just been
Revenge of the
stripping
Fallen.
has he just been stripping the Nemesis for parts this whole time?
No,
Just
he's able to
like-
generate it with the Allspark.
Oh.
That is genuinely what I believe. Obviously, their personalities come from it. That's, like, established canon. But, like, I genuinely believe that he's just able to materialize metal. Basically, from thin air with the Allspark.
Yeah, he's got a little army of clones there just waiting to be armed, so that's fine. That's just up on the moon. No one worry about that.
Yeah, don't worry about it. It
That's
won't
not
come
gonna
up again.
It's not gonna come up again. Season 2, episode 8, The Society of Ultimate Villainy, aka SUV.
Yeah, I just a correction on the title. The way it shows up on Tubi at least is SUV : the Society of Ultimate Villainy.
Every villain is lemons. Nanosec is back to normal now. He's not old anymore. And everyone's like, how did that happen?
Well,
We'll learn later, but basically what is happening here, all of the various human supervillains that we've seen over the course of this show are running rampant through the city. And each time Bumblebee tries to stop them, he gets hit with a slow-mo. And he refuses to call for backup or wait for anyone to help him.
he is dying Squirtle.
He is getting his shit rocked constantly. So yeah, he's chasing down Nanosec and he gets fucking slowed down and causes a fucking 9-car pileup with the Autobots. And they're like, bro, dude, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah, I mean, they don't actually crash, but it is not their fault.
Bulkhead
It is not because of anything that Bumblebee does. It is because the other drivers are good enough to not crash.
That's right. They're good on their brakes. This all started because Optimus told Bumblebee to like take a flanking route and like hit him from the side, and Bumblebee's like, "No, I don't need that dumb shit. I'm fast. I'll just catch him on my own." And he just keeps going forward, and yeah, he gets slow mode. Angry Archer is here. Also, Sorry learns that Bumblebee has a police scanner inside of him that he never knew about. He just didn't know he had that.
Yeah.
He copied a police car. It only makes sense that he would have that. He just never thought of it. But yeah, Angry Archer is around. He's doing shit. Oh no, excuse me. The next one is Professor Princess.
I do love her, even though she just sounds like Phil and Lil.
She is just Phil and Lil. She's blowing up an arcade because of all those violent video games. And yeah, once again, Bumblebee tries to stop her and gets fucking slow mode. And
this is finally the point where he's like, I think I have COVID.
Yeah, he's like, oh god, is something wrong? Because like, yeah, Sorry's like, or no, it's after the second time with the Angry Archer, the Autobots are like, hey, you need to go like have Ratchet check you out or something, dude. I think there's something wrong with you. But yeah, this is finally the time where Sorry's like, no, my key glowed when that happened, so it's probably like someone shooting you with some kind of beam. And he is being shot with some kind of beam because we go inside. I guess this is supposed to be like a watch factory. It looks like a clock tower. But Slow-Mo says that she used to work here, so presumably this is the also, watch factory.
Can we just like talk about her for a little bit?
Yeah, can we? Let's
talk about So
Yeah, let's talk
slow-mo.
about slow-mo.
Slow-mo, are you free? First, are you free on Thursday when I am also free? Second, her mid-Atlantic accent is amazing. What an
Yes.
incredible choice for this character. She has, I would say, I'm very impressed with Tara Strong's ability to hold that accent. It's not an easy accent to hold for sustained, like, recordings. And as I said before, really demonstrates how Tara Strong is at her best. It really truly has incredible range. I don't think anyone's arguing that, but is really at her best playing grown-ass white women.
Slow-mo looks like a sort of 1930s flapper covered in clocks and talks in an extremely rapid mid-Atlantic accent. Like, she talks very fast. And apparently...
She does talk like a 1930s gangster, specifically.
Yes, she does. See?
See, we gotta go. We gotta have a moose.
Yeah, we gotta have a moose, see? And, yeah, she has
She'll
collected
say-
all of...
It's loot, it's moolah, it's money. It's what makes the world go round.
You know, yeah, it's like Johnny two times, that sort of thing. And yeah, she has collected all of these chuckle nuts for the purpose of forming a sort of supervillain team here, and making a lot of money because she has a clock with an Allspark shard embedded in it that can, you know, shoot a slow-mo laser. So she's like, I can do anything. And this is where she mentions that she's the one who de-aged the nanosec because it can do that, apparently.
And now they're a thing.
Yeah,
they're the Joker and Harley of future Detroit.
they really are. Also, she has, disconcertingly, she has clock pupils. Did you notice this?
I did not.
Her
Maybe I did. Isn't she wearing a visor?
No, it's like a veil. Her eyes.
Okay,
just
yeah,
have...
but her eyes are partially covered.
They are, but she just has eyes that look like clocks.
Oh yes, I did notice this. Actually, I did. Her pupils are the hands of a clock.
Yeah.
It doesn't look. It doesn't have like the number. It's not like the pupils are a clock with like all the
No.
numbers or anything. It's just the pupil are like the hands of the clock.
Yes, and so
Kinda
they,
fucked up.
they start doing a crime wave. They start, you know, blowing shit up and robbing shit, and
She'd be
Professor
great at union
Princess-
organizing. I tell you that much.
She would. I don't think Professor Princess knows what crime is, but that's okay. She they're just running roughshod over the whole city, and you know, Bumblebee is still trying to tackle this problem on his own, and yet again just keeps getting his shit rocked. But he does cause a police car pileup, so you know what? That's pretty good. Oh no, that's not him. I think something happens where a bunch of police cars explode. I cannot remember.
And everyone claps.
I think the Angry Archer might blow them up, but unfortunately, we see the guys crawl out of it. Boo. It should be like that episode of Transformers Prime where RC fucking murders those guys. That car exploded, and they did not.
Yeah, no,
come out
those
of it.
guys died for real.
They showed those mech dudes crawling out of some of the other cars, but not the ones that blew up.
Yeah.
RC killed those men.
And you know what? They deserved it.
She was right for it. So yeah, they're running from the cops, and they come across a very friendly Jeep.
Well, it's an SUV. This is important.
That's right. I guess yeah. It's like a Hummer. I would
Yeah,
not classify Swindle's alternate mode as an SUV. It's a bit too. I guess.
I mean, it is explicitly called one. Whether or not you think that's an SUV, it is explicitly called one in the series, in this episode.
True. Yeah, they get Slow-mo gets a mysterious call. I was like, "Hey, there's an SUV right over there.
Turn left."
Yeah, so they get in. Yeah, this is where they get their name, the Society of Ultimate Villainy, or SUV, because Nanosec is great at naming things.
And literally, Slow-mo's like, God, that's so hot.
Yes. She's like, my God, you're what a man. Like, what? Well, you can't account for taste.
Yeah. As we've established, it's swindle time.
Yeah, so this mysterious benefactor keeps talking to them through the SUV's dashboard. Who could this be? Hey, he's just selling them on little things like, hey, I've got a great idea for you enterprising criminals. I'm planning on building a device, and we can sell the device for a lot of money, and you'll never have to rob a day in your life again. By the way, one of my favorite bits of Slow-Mo's character design is that she's wearing a bajillion watches on her arms.
Yeah, I mean, she's just covered in clocks and watches.
And so this mysterious, very trustworthy, disembodied voice has them rob some specific components for this device.
That is going to make them a Titan. This is a really stupid exchange. Where it's like, Swindle's like, hey, if you get me these parts, I'll make you a weapon. And then we can sell that weapon for a boatload of money. What do you say to that? And Slow-Mo's like, I say, how big of a boat are we talking about? And Swindle's like, ever heard of the Titanic? And I forget Slow-Mo's response, but it's also stupid.
How does he know? How does he know what the Titanic is?
I assume as soon as they get to Earth, they're hooked up to the internet.
And by the way,
they have 5G receptors, and they're causing cancer in all the conspiracy theorists.
That's right. And Swindle is selling you the 5G cancer cures in the same breath.
True.
Like that. By the way, I don't want to move on without mentioning this exchange between Slow-Mo and Nanosec that we have to point out here. Where during this thing where they're robbing some stuff for this weapon to sell, I guess.
Oh, yes. Oh, God, it's awful. Right, so, we're moving on to the actual heist part of it, where they're collecting all the bits. That's fine.
And Bumblebee is trying to catch them, but he's failing horribly at it.
Well, I think, at least to his credit at this point, he's just doing surveillance.
Yeah, he's not trying to fight them. He's like, well, that lady's gonna hit me with the Slow-Mo device. I won't. She's gonna hit me with the doohickey.
I'm still gonna do this all by myself, but I'm gonna do it smart by myself.
He is so convinced that he is the star player of the Ottawa team. He's like, nah, I'm the best one. I don't need their help. I gotta show them I still got it. And everyone else is like, you never had it. What the fuck are you talking about?
Homie, you're having your quarter-life crisis. Calm down.
Bro. I like at the end when he's like, sometimes the star player still needs his back, and everyone just stares at him, like, wordlessly. Like, that's just how the episode ends. They just, like, blankly stare at him like, okay, man, not funny, didn't laugh. But anyway, during this, Slow-Mo and Nanosec are working together, and Slow-Mo goes, ooh, I like a man who works fast. And Nanosec responds, and I like a girl who takes it slow.
And I need everyone to also remember a critical thing about Nanosec, if they haven't, which is who he is voiced by.
He is voiced by Brian Posen.
Of, like, many Adult Swim show fame.
Yeah.
Oh, God. What's it called? Like, Tom Goes to the Mayor.
Oh, God, yep. Mm-hmm.
So I really need you to remember what he sounds like.
Not exactly a suave, smooth voice there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they make this thing. They make this doohickey. It looks like a big satellite. And, of course, this is where they get betrayed. Because Swindle was never intending to pay them anyway, because they were just fucking lackeys. And he reveals himself.
John Cena voice. His name was Swindle. That doesn't raise any red flags for you.
Yeah, look, I don't understand how a guy named Swindle keeps getting repeat business, other than he must be just really good at his job.
I mean, there are apparently some customers that he actually does sell to, right?
Yeah. So yeah, he blasts them away. He blasts the floor out from under them, and he calls his best customer, Megatron. And oh, by the way, when he reveals himself, he name drops the Vok from Beast Wars.
Yes. I mean the Who?
I mean, oh yeah, excuse me, they're nothing. Don't worry about them. But I really love this conversation he has with Megatron. It's so funny.
There's a lot that happens here. So first of all, Megatron's like, "How did you get this number?"
I thought I fucking blocked your number.
and Swindle's like, "Lockdown gave it to me for 2 guns."
Yeah. Oh yeah. They even just our mutual bounty hunting friend traded it to me for some extra mods.
Yeah.
Professional scruples prevent me from revealing his name, and Megatron responds, "Scruples? You'd sell your own motherboard to the highest bidder."
Such a good line.
Which Swindle replies to with, enough about me.
He's like, "All right, I got this." Okay, he's like, "I want you to imagine something, right? Like, oh, one other important thing. Before he takes her, so he takes all the other villains down first, but before he takes down Slow-Mo, she tries to blast him with...
He's got a force field.
Right, he's got a force field. Did we say that already?
Not yet.
Okay,
no,
good, because that's an important part for next bit of this episode.
Yeah, big important. He's got force fields. Slow-Mo's time beam can't go through force fields.
Yeah.
Now, we have to mention Swindle's character in this show because it's important. He is a used car salesman.
Yes.
He is the scummiest used car salesman your mind can fucking conjure. And he is voiced by Fred Willard.
I mean, that's sort of just Swindle.
That is Swindle, but this is the perfect version of Swindle. He's voiced by Fred Willard. He was like an old school comedy guy. His career extends quite far back. I'm still scrolling. His first credit was 1966.
Yeah.
So pretty storied comedy man.
He's been in a lot of old school sitcoms like The Nanny and Everybody Loves Raymond, etc.
Salem's Lot, all that stuff.
One of the places younger viewers might recognize him from is the beginning of Wall-E, where he plays the president of the company. Old school dude.
Yeah, and I love the energy Animated Swindle has. All Swindles should have this kind of energy, and I read most Swindles as this sort of guy. He should be wearing like a checkered suit. That's what I.
You're literally just describing Benny from New Vegas.
Yeah, and this Swindle is also really into feet, just like Benny. So, basically this thing is a fucking AOE EMP, functionally, where it just shuts down. It just shuts down all mechanical stuff within a radius.
And I will say, to Megatron's credit, so Swindle's like, "I got this sweet new weapon for you," and Megatron's like, "Your name is Swindle. Why should I believe you?"
Look, Animated Megatron is no fool. He will not. But Swindle, shows it off, and he's like, "All right, I'm interested in this immobilizer. I'm pretty sure this is supposed to be the immobilizer."
He's like, "No, I got it. Like, the humans say you got to take it for a test drive, right? Like, really digging into the used car salesman thing."
Absolutely.
Literally says, "Take it for a test drive," and he releases it. It do work.
It do work. It knocks Bumblebee out, and Sorry is left all alone. All of the other Autobots are also knocked out because Bumblebee finally called for backup at the latest possible moment, and we get a little team up between Sorry and the Society of Ultimate Villainy here, because they're also looking to get some payback on Swindle here for double crossing him.
And they're like, "Why should we? Like, you guys suck."
Sorry's like, "I don't. All of you fucking suck." And they're like, "But the enemy of your enemy is your friend, right?" And she ultimately accepts because it'd be really hard for her to drag Bumblebee to Sumdac Tower on her own, which is where she needs to go, because it is currently the only place in Detroit with the lights still on. Because, if you'll remember, Sumdac Tower has a built-in emergency force field that activates when shit gets crazy. So they drag Bumblebee's knocked out body. Oh, by the way, Swindle straight up says, like, oh yeah, so this weapon will shut all of their like motor functions down, but their minds will still be active, and they'll be trapped in their own bodies with no ability to fucking move or say anything. It's a fate worse than death. Isn't that cool, Megatron?
And Megatron's like, I'm intrigued. Show me it.
Yes, like, that sounds pretty cool. I gotta say.
Like, if I see that it works, we could have a deal.
It's like, ooh, I got something I can use on Starscream finally. Oh boy.
And however many clones he throws at me, spoiler alert, it will be a lot.
It'll be quite a few. So yeah, they get Bumblebee into Sumdac Tower. Excuse me. Did I say Sumdac Tower? I meant Powell Tower.
What's really fun? Yeah, this is like a lot of things have happened to Sari over the course of this episode, and this is by far the thing she takes most offense at.
She's so mad. She's so pissed off at this.
And she uses her elite hacking skills at the end of this scene to revert the secretary, the receptionist bot, back to Sumdac Tower again.
Yeah. So we get all of the other villains. Their machinery comes back on. Sari like uses her key to give everybody personalized force fields, so that they can escape the fucking time vortex. And they go to beat the shit out of Swindle, who, by the way, is made of guns. He has so many weapons built into him.
It's actually kind of a sexy shot.
Yeah, where he just deploys all the weapons.
It's like, oh, that's why no one else has weapons in the show. You took them all.
Yeah, like you fucking... he's just got every gun in there. And yeah, so he at first is doing pretty good, but they eventually overwhelm him, and Sari turns the doohickey off, and through he steals Salomo's time slow device, and he tries to fire it at Bumblebee, but of course Bumblebee has the force field, and so he gets hit, and this causes him to reflect, like, he transforms into vehicle mode and is locked in vehicle mode forever.
Yeah, and then okay, so speaking of fucked up things that happen,
this is sicko shit.
Okay, I don't know if Fanzone actually understands what happened here, but Fanzone arrives on the scene, and he looks at this and he's like, okay.
Well, because I do like, before we say the absolutely insane thing Fanzone is gonna do, I do like the bit where all of the SUV pile into Swindle and try to drive him off, but obviously he's been EMP'd, so he can't move. So they can't. And then the angry archer, rolls down the window, is like, "Forsooth, would anyone give us a jump?"
Yes.
And then they all get arrested.
So the police show up, and it is unclear to me whether Fanzone knows that Swindle is sentient. But he's like, okay, we arrested all of your friends, and we're gonna take, again, in full view of the Autobots, full hearing range, we're going to take this SUV down to the, impound lot, and we're going to break it down for parts, should make a nice profit off of that. And the Autobots don't say jack shit.
I would begin giving Fanzone a wide berth after hearing that. Yeah, I don't know if he knows that Swindle is a Decepticon or not. I'm not clear. I guess he never directly says so. He never seems to say that he knows it's a Decepticon or whatever. He just talks about it like it's their getaway car.
Right.
So maybe he doesn't know, but the Autobots don't correct him. Regardless of whether Fanzone knows. I can excuse him not knowing,
But the Autobots not saying anything, knowing that basically Swindle's about to get drawn and quartered, is like, Jesus. And that's how the end, that is literally how the episode ends, with like, with Fanzone being pleased about the bonuses for Christmas.
Yeah,
In the department that the sale of Swindle's organs will fund.
Yeah, like Bumblebee says, "Oh, I've learned the value of teamwork." Meanwhile, Fanzo's getting ready to vivisect a Decepticon. Maybe consciously or not, but I must tell you, listeners, it's okay. Swindle is fine. He appears again in season 3. He does not get stripped and sold for parts.
But I was like, good lord.
Although, he did that to the Combaticons once in G1, so, like, he literally stripped them and sold them for parts.
He's always been known as a team player.
So, that is the Society of Ultimate Villainy. Unfortunately, Slow-Mo never appears again. I'm very sad. Very, very sad about all of that.
Yeah.
But, Swindle will reappear, and ultimately that's beautiful to me. Well, we do have some questions from our dear listeners, including one on Twitter, I believe. Let me open that up real quick. Go to x.com, despite my... Wait a minute, hang on. No, my address bar still says twitter.com. Great.
You'll take it from my cold, dead hands.
So... What is cosplay? Cass asks, we never really get much explanation of where Miss Slow-Mo came from, right? Make up a backstory for her. We do actually get an explanation.
Yeah.
She does say she used to just work as a clockmaker, and then an Allspark shard fell in one of the clocks she was making, and it made it shoot Slow-Mo powers.
And it turns out supervillainy is more fun and better paying than factory work.
It's weird to me that in super robotized Detroit, there's still like handmade. I guess it's like a luxury thing.
Maybe it's just like a union thing.
Maybe the watchmakers union is quite strong,
right? The same thing with SAG-AFTRA and AI.
Yeah, maybe Sumdac is really trying to break the watchmakers to get his automated workforce in there to save some money.
I don't know that's a particular area that Sumdac cares about. Now PCP, on the other hand.
Yeah, I was about to say, Sumdac probably is fine with it. Powell, though, he's trying. He's like, how many of these unions can I break? Let's see. Let me speed run it.
I really like how you dig into J. Jonah Jameson for Powell.
Bring me pictures of Bumblebee. No one wants that. And I can't ask the second question because that is not a character who's mentioned in this episode yet. We don't know who Master Yokotron is yet.
Yeah.
That's for the other Prowl and Lockdown episode, because yes, there is another one.
Again, they want to fuck so bad it makes them look stupid.
They are fucking nasty on the side. We know about it. How about you take us through the Discord questions?
Hate sex goes crazy. Nero from Disney Minus Beer asks, what would be the name of your supervillain team and who's in it?
Do I just like to pick a list of like any guy I want from anything?
Yeah.
Because the team is me and Dr. Doom, and it's called Hanging Out with the Bestie. That's it. That's all I need.
Okay.
What do you need any of these other fucking guys for? Dr. Doom is literally the best supervillain.
The team is called the Good Guys. And there's just, I don't know. I'm spoiled for choice. Villains are always so much fun.
They are.
It's probably just Birds of Prey, honestly. But I also don't care about comics anymore, so...
You know what? That's beautiful.
I have not engaged with superhero media in quite some time, so...
It's freeing, isn't it?
It's super freeing. Oh man, Marvel's in the shitter.
It's not going great over there, no, in any department, really. Yeah.
Good stuff. We love a good Ouroboros.
Oh boy.
Also from Veer, besides the plot of Kung Fu Fury, I assume.
No, Kung Fury is the name of the movie.
Oh, okay. Besides the plot of Kung Fury, what kind of plots could you do with a ninja cop?
I feel like that was like a whole genre of movie in like the 90s.
Yeah.
There were so many ninja movies back then. Surely one
And
of
also
them was Ninja Cop.
so many cop movies.
Yeah, like at some point they slammed together, right? Like I can't bring one to mind, but like there definitely is one.
But like I feel like the late 80s, early 90s was like a heyday. It was like a golden age of like the cop action movie before cops sort of like irredeemably lost public consciousness.
Yeah, it was the heyday of the buddy cop movie for sure.
Right.
That's where all like your Lethal Weapons and stuff come from.
So, sorry if we didn't actually answer your question, but that's sort of what I got for you.
I feel like there's only really one plot he can do with a ninja cop, and it's in the name. It's
yeah.
Like, what if there was a ninja cop and he had to fight a ninja bad guy? It's like, well, there you go.
But he didn't have enough money to pay for the pizza, so he had to have sex to pay for it instead.
That's right.
From Sidewinder Sabrina, in the Bounty Hunter episode, Lockdown mentions that Megatron pays more than the Elite Guard. We did not get a price on Starscream. What do you think Megatron would have placed the initial bounty at, and how much do you think the Elite Guard would have paid for him?
Do we know if it's like a currency thing? Like, what is their currency?
Well, I'm assuming from the title that it's Energon.
That's true.
Because it's a play on Fistful of Dollars.
I would imagine it's a fair bit of Energon. I don't know where he has it. Maybe he's got like a stash like on the outer rim of the galaxy or something. He's got like caches of Energon saved up for this.
In other pieces of Transformers media, there's like Shanix.
Yeah, there's sometimes they make up, but yeah, I think it is Energon. I mean that would make sense.
Yeah.
Although I think for Lockdown, I feel like what he would want more is like rare mods, right? Like he would want cool new toys,
right?
So honestly, Megatron might be able to. He would take like a reduced price on the Energon if Megatron threw in like 5 new cool things for him.
But I do also think that we see here that Lockdown is just interested in money.
Oh yeah, because money means mods.
Yeah, I guess.
So I guess it's like, it's like getting a gift card for Christmas, right? Where you can just do whatever you want with it. He wants Megatron's fusion cannon. That's what he wants. He will not be getting it, unfortunately, but he would like it. But yes, I do assume that Megatron, in particular for this specific thing, would be willing to pay quite a hefty sum for story. Let's say like 2 million Energon units or whatever, and maybe the Elite Guard is only like 500,000. Right?
Yeah,
like,
well, they don't negotiate with terrorists.
Exactly. They, and they're not taking this Decepticon thing that seriously. Still, I guess they are now, right?
No, they sure as fuck are now.
Maybe they are offering like 1 million Energon units, but Megatron just always offers more.
Yeah. Me, Mr. Gay, Daphnis asks, quick, what's the most formidable thing about weird little girls? I'll go first. They are persistent little fucks. They have not been, like, socialized into rigid gender constraints yet, and that makes them actually quite feral.
Bluntness is another one. That's children. A lot of children in general. Yeah. They will just say whatever the fuck.
Little girls are way more feral than little boys.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I would say before elementary school, like little girls, like 0 through 5. Mm-hmm. I would much rather be with a little boy of that age
than have to deal. Yeah, for sure. They are powerful.
There's a proto horse girl in every 5-year-old girl, and you just have to click, like, it's like activating the right DNA sequence for, like, blue eyes. You just have to hit the right sequence to get that activated, and you are always just one step away from it.
Yep.
From Sidewinder Sabrina, follow up, what do you think the price for each of the Decepticons would be?
I assume this is from the Elite Guard, because Megatron doesn't have much of a reason to put a bounty on the other Decepticons, unless he really wants Lugnut to shut up.
0 for Lugnut. $200 for Blitzwing.
Yeah, I mean, for the Elite Guard, I think obviously Megatron would be like 10 million, right?
Yeah.
Like
They
super
actually,
high.
it's actually just 10 million for Megatron because that's their entire budget for bounties.
They will literally give you everything if you bring in Megatron. The others, I mean, I feel as though, Lugnut's strong, but he's real fucking stupid. He would probably rate like 500,000. Like, yeah, it's good to get him off out of the way, but like without Megatron, he's sort of aimless. I mean, we kind of saw that towards the beginning of season 1. Blitzwing, I think, would be like 750,000 because he's a little bit more unpredictable, and he has like more than one brain cell to rub together. They don't know that Black Arachne exists. I don't think they do.
Yeah, and if they found out, then Sentinel would either make sure that it's a $0 bounty or the highest bounty possible.
And you have to turn her into him specifically.
Yes.
Only Ultra Magnus does not need to know about that.
Yeah.
There are some other guys we could name, but I won't because that's a fun little surprise.
We have
us out later.
A lot of questions to get through.
Yep.
In honor of Halloween, this is also from Sidewinder Sabrina. In honor of Halloween, the gayest of all holidays, which would each of the Transformers plans for Halloween be?
We saw this in Along Came a Spider. So, well, a few of them anyway. Bumblebee and Bulkhead want to trick or treat. Optimus has traumatic flashbacks. That's in his schedule. That's in his little planner. We didn't see Ratchet or Prowl. I think Prowl would appreciate all of the various costumes and creativity on display.
I think Prowl would go to a haunted house to prove he's not scared.
Yes. Ratchet will his plan is complain in all caps. That's the whole thing.
His plan is to open a pumpkin ale and watch Warner classic horror monster movies.
Yeah, he is watching those Universal. He is watching
the Universal.
He is watching Dracula. He is watching The Mummy. He is watching all of that. He is watching The Wolfman.
Bride of Frankenstein.
He is cracking open that pumpkin ale. He is chilling.
Yep.
His porch light is off.
His
slippers are on.
He's falling asleep at 8:30 p.m.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He's got it all figured out.
Yep. All right, from Ruby Road Rage, Ruby. All right, who's who in this Classic Tales Gets Trolled page, and it's the one where they're all in the car, and then Jerry goes, "Did you know that even with seatbelts?"
I'm sorry, who's that? Who's the cat from Tom and Jerry?
Fuck Tom, sorry. Who's the mouse? Jerry with one R. Tom goes, "Did you know that even with seatbelts, people die all the time in car crashes?" I thought that was interesting. All right, so clearly we're going to use the SUV for this.
So Tom is Swindle, and that's what Swindle is saying. I think
I think Slow-Mo is Porky.
Yeah. Slow-Mo is Porky. Elmer Fudd is
Professor Princess.
Professor Princess. Wile E. Coyote is Nanosec, and that makes Sylvester the Angry Archer.
Yeah.
He looks angry in this picture, so that fits.
Yeah.
I love this a comic made of nothing but perfect panels, and this is one of them.
From Short Screen Chat, which made-for-TV product would Swindle be most likely to advertise for?
Oh God, which one wouldn't he?
No, he would do all of them, but I'm trying to think of which one would he really feel like a keen attachment.
Would it be a scam or would it actually work? That's the question.
Let's see.
For some reason, I just keep thinking of that slider grill that Billy Mays advertised. The Slider City Grill or something.
1 second. I'm doing a Google.
No, wait. He's the fucking ShamWow guy.
Let's see here.
What's the other one? Slap Chop.
Oh, you know what? Shake Weight.
Oh God. Yep. I can see it.
Yeah, the
I
shake
can
weight.
see it. Yeah,
I think
do
anything
agree.
that
I
like
think
falls
it's
into like diet culture, like
that is
or weight loss culture.
He would absolutely like that's where the money is, and he has we know no scruples. He will sell what the fuck ever.
Yeah,
He's
so
selling those like the heater blanket, like those sauna bags that you fucking put yourself in to sweat the weight out. He's selling that shit. He's selling all of
yeah, and maybe some like dubious sex toys.
it. Yes, that's only on Saturday nights. That's what the channel becomes, the infomercial channel on Saturday night after dark.
Yeah. No, I think he's there for the weight loss stuff. So like shake weight is my go-to for that, I would say.
Selling some fucking Nutrisystem.
Yeah. Also from Chet. Oh wait, no, that was sorry. Oh no. If Swindle had a commercial for his business, what would its style be? Fuck
Saul
you,
Goodman.
Baltimore.
Yeah, that or Saul Goodman. Like just the tackiest fucking like photo edits and shit, and just like the corniest acting. That's what I imagine.
That's right. Well, fuck your wife.
Home of challenge pissing. If you can piss 6 feet straight up in the air and not get wet, we'll pay your whole down payment.
Yeah. I like that one because it's a car commercial, a car dealership commercial.
You're such a stupid motherfucker.
That's right. Well, fuck your wife.
Come on down to Big Bruticus Hells.
Veer asks again, what would be the alt forms of famous horror movie characters such as Freddy, Jason, Michael, the Ginger Dead Man, the Evil Bong, and Robert the Psychic Tire?
All right, we really shifted gears here in the latter half of this fucking question.
Yeah, we're into the Halloween zone now.
Well,
because
the tire,
we're recording this on November 1st, folks, but we were supposed to do it yesterday.
Yeah, well, you know, there were some trick-or-treaters on my end, and you know.
I was making paninis.
Well, the tire is a tire. It doesn't have an alternate mode. That's from Rubber, by the way, if our listeners did not know. I think Freddy, Jason?
Okay, no, wait, I have Freddy.
Okay, what does Freddy turn into?
It's an EPAP machine.
Oh, God. Jason, I feel like turns into either a go-kart or a like fan boat.
I was gonna say fan boat. You gotta be able to get out on the lake.
And then the fans turn into like a machete.
Right.
The fan blades turn into a machete. Michael just turns into that car he drives in the first Halloween, that big boxy like Buick.
Yeah, okay.
The Evil Bong turns into a dildo. I don't fucking know.
The Evil Bong turns into a bong.
He's a monoformer. I mean, I'm trying.
Or turns into a guy then.
Leatherface turns into a chainsaw.
Obviously.
You know this.
No, Leatherface turns into like a logging.
Yeah,
machine.
like a fucking logging truck.
Yeah,
just made of chainsaws.
Yeah,
perfect.
I think that's good.
Mm-hmm.
From Soundwave's Big Naturals.
Oh wait, no, sorry. Chucky turns into like an RC car.
Yes. From Leon, Soundwave's Big Naturals. Oh no, the TFA gang is in a spooky slasher movie. Who takes which role and who dies in what order? They're all victims.
Bumblebee dies first.
Yes. But they're all victims.
They are. What, you don't think there's a final girl?
Who do you think the final girl would be?
Not Bumblebee, I can tell you that.
Ratchet.
Optimus, maybe?
Yeah, I guess.
Or Prowl.
No, I don't think Prowl's the final girl. Prowl's the one who's like really genre savvy and then gets killed anyway.
Yes. Sad. I don't know. Who is the final girl? I think it must be Optimus.
Okay.
The rest of them, yeah. Ratchet is the ominous gas station man who warns them about trouble up ahead.
Ratchet doesn't die. Ratchet.
No, he's fine.
Yeah, Ratchet doesn't die because he simply doesn't get involved.
Yeah.
Bulkhead's the frat boy.
Prowl gets got for having premarital sex with Lockdown, obviously.
Really good. Um,
Do you hear a fan boat? And then they just get stabbed.
also from Veer, could Robert from Rubber kill Unicron with his explosive psychic tire powers?
I'm not dignifying this with a response.
I've not seen Rubber. Sorry.
It's all right. It's a fun time.
And also, would Swindle do a certified Odin prank on someone, and if so, what would it be?
No, he runs Slip and Jimmy scams. He's not doing Odin pranks.
Yeah, no, he's the scam goddess.
He is selling people fake Rolexes. He is like doing all that.
He's
shit.
doing an uncut gems.
Yeah, he's doing uncut gems shit. He is not pulling Odin pranks. He is not doing anything. He's not doing anything that could like bring any harm or suspicion back onto him. He is a professional.
From Aurora Animated, Dracula, Frankenstein (monster) and Wolfman are all Cybertronians. What do each of them turn into in alt modes?
Dracula turns into a jet that looks like a bat.
Or turns into an ambulance for a blood bank.
Yes. Wolfman
Turns into a muscle car.
Yeah, muscle car. And Frankenstein turns into like a tank. Like a big boxy like mazer tank from the Godzilla movies.
I
that, like,
think
electricity.
I think Frankenstein turns into an F1, a car with parts that can be really easily removed and replaced.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense actually.
Yeah.
Like a cobbled together sort of car.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
And then we have a couple more from Veer here. Which Transformers character would be the main character of a Cabela's Dangerous Hunts game?
Cabela's.
What? Cabela's. Yeah,
Dangerous
Cabela's
Hunts.
Dangerous Hunts game. And what would be the main villain animal?
So the Cabela's Dangerous Hunts games, they're like a hunting video game. So you think that it would just be a game about shooting animals, but all of them have the craziest plots. And yeah, there are some examples that Veer has provided of villains of past Cabela's Dangerous Hunts games, including a Yeti, a genetically engineered super hyena with mind control powers, and a fucking eldritch lion with time abilities. So I think the protagonist is probably... I think Lockdown is the rival hunter who's like the...
So I guess
like
Prowl.
I guess it would be Prowl. He is hunting honorably. He respects nature. He is not so. It's like the homegrown storm chasers and the corporate storm chasers and fucking Twister.
Right.
But yeah, I think the main villain animal is like, it's got to be Grimlock, right?
Probably,
or
yeah.
Like a similar sort of Dinobot.
Yeah.
Perfect.
All right.
Oh, if it was G1, the main character of it would be Mirage, obviously. Known big game hunter Mirage. Or no, he does fox hunting. He's not a big game hunter. He's like a fancy boy, so he does like fox hunting.
Yeah, and the foxes are already killed before he goes out there.
Wow, you're so talented, Mirage. Wow.
If you were to put the cast of Transformers animated in Scoob and Shag, what would be their ballyhoos? I don't.
Do you know about
this?
So have you seen? You must have seen around Tumblr the comic of like anime like sicko Bugs Bunny using his like stand abilities.
Maybe.
Have you not seen that one? Scoob and Shag is like this. It's a webtoon, and originally it was just like a joke comic about what if Scooby-Doo was fucked up, but it slowly became like a parody of shonen anime, or like not even a parody. It's like a shonen anime pastiche using Hanna-Barbera and Looney Tunes and other Cartoon Network cartoon characters, and all of them have functionally like, what are the things in Hunter x Hunter called?
Nen.
They have like Nen abilities. It's not really like a stand, but they all have like a thing that they do.
Got it. And that's their ballyhoo?
That's their ballyhoo,
Okay.
yes. I don't know what an anti-hoo is. I haven't caught up on that, I guess. I'd have... I have
All right, so Veer, we're not going to
catching up
answer
to
that
do.
one because
I'm
neither
sorry.
of us know what that shit is.
I would recommend reading. I would recommend our listeners at least check out Scoop and Shag. It's a real treat. There's a lot of effort being put into it, which I am always very impressed. For like perhaps one of the stupidest setups for a web comic. It's got a tremendous amount of effort put into it. That's I'm surprised you haven't seen the Bugs Bunny Dead Air excerpt. That always makes the rounds on Tumblr of like, this shit's crazy.
Yeah, I can't say I have.
Well, folks, that's the end of this episode. I can't do a mid-Atlantic. I cannot.
It's a hard accent to do.
It's
like
hard one.
Sustained for more than 3 words.
Yeah, like it's tough, especially to talk rapidly.
She's the kind of girl who makes you want to learn a little French.
That's right. It's hard. We have been Prime Cuts. I don't know what that was. I don't know what that voice was.
It just sounded like, I'm gonna be real, it just sounded like you.
Cool. Find us on Twitter at Prime Cuts Pod. We'll probably make a Tumblr or whatever sometime soon because that site is very quick.
And or a Blue Sky.
And or a Blue Sky. I think we should make a Tumblr. There's more people on there. Blue Sky seems a little sedate still right now.
Yeah.
I'm Nero. You can find me on Twitter at Dragon Sutra, on co-host at Dragon Smuggler, on Blue Sky, Nero Wyvern, Blue Sky, Tumblr, Cyclonus with a 5 on the end of it. You can find my various other projects in various other places. That is Radio Free Heideland, the Final Fantasy 14 podcast I do with my friend Jane, Heideland Radio, Radio Free Heideland.com. Whoa, that was all in one breath. Holy shit. But it's lightheaded a little bit. Talk Cycles, monthly animation podcast I also do with Jane. Talkcycles.tumblr.com. I need to look at what's winning the poll. But it's probably going to be Teen Titans Season 2. If I had to guess.
It's a good season.
Good season. Terra. It's Terra time.
Yep. That you?
Yep, that's it for me.
I'm Audrey. You can find me on Tumblr, Twitter, co-host, and Blue Sky, Optima on Prime. That's my funny robot internet joke. You can listen to the other podcast I do called Pot of Greed. It's about Yu-Gi-Oh! We are towards the end of like the 2nd season of 5Ds, I think. Still got a lot to go though, somehow. It feels like we don't, but there is. I've been casting a radio drama that I should have more news about soon, and I'm starting a New York City podcast on the Moonshot Network called I'm Eden Here. And we are on Noisepace with a bunch of other really good shows. You can check that out at noisepace.xyz. And I think that's it.
That's right. Well, until next time, I am going to shove as many knives, guns, blasters, shields, and jetpacks into my body as humanly possible and then promptly fall over, transform, and roll out.
I'm going to have wild hate sex with my drug dealer and then forget it ever happened, transform and roll out.
Peach.